Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to a new video. So, the Apple event just happened, and we got the new iPhone 14, the new iPhone 14 Plus, not a mini, iPhone 14 Pro, and iPhone 14 Pro Max, along with the new Apple Watch Ultra, and Apple Watch Series 8 and Apple Watch Series SE. We don't really care about the lower end ones. Today we're going to be talking a little bit just about the higher end devices. So, iPhone 14 Pro, iPhone 14 Pro Max, Apple Watch Ultra. Now, these three devices are an insane change for the Apple ecosystem, from the complete redesign of the screen for the iPhone and the lots of welcomed upgrades to the camera system and the completely redesigned Apple Watch. Now, what exactly did change with the iPhone? The iPhone changed in a couple different ways. Whereas previously we have had a notch style display on the iPhone, there's now what they're calling the dynamic island. Now, where we have here a notch is now removed, and there's a pill shape right around here. Now, it's called dynamic for a couple different reasons. It's called dynamic mainly, however, for the fact that it can change with what is on the screen. It can grow and shrink with icons to show you little bits of data for more multitasking options, such as a Lyft ride, a timer, an event, a phone call, an audio recording, and the like. This is really how they're integrating the dynamic island into the phone outside of just being an ugly notch. It's so well animated and so smooth. It's impressive. I'm gonna get my hands on one in an Apple store this weekend, but I'm really excited to see what all developers do with this dynamic island. Now, let's talk about the camera. So the camera changed quite a bit. It's now a 48 megapixel sensor. I'm recording on a 48 megapixel camera right now myself, actually, and it's pretty insane that they put that in the back of an iPhone. As we know, the iPhones have had 12 megapixel cameras forever, and so the fact that this has now been upgraded to a 48 megapixel camera is pretty crazy. With that, that has also allowed them to, because this is the wide angle lens, this has allowed them to take it and then punch in to the center 12 megapixels and get a 2x lens. So there's now a 0.5, a 1, which is that 48 megapixel sensor, a 2, which are cropping in on the 48 megapixel sensor to get a 12, and then the normal 12 megapixel 77 millimeter lens. Now, this ultra wide, which was 26 millimeters, I believe it was, or 28, it's now down to 24. So it's a little bit wider. It's quite a difference. You can actually definitely tell for sure. There were no actual upgrades to the ultra wide except for a little bit better low light performance, and it's a little bit slower lens actually. They're really pushing that this is a better lens. We'll see how it does and how it stands up. On the front of the phone, however, we did get quite a good upgrade. Camera-wise, the front camera now has autofocus, which everyone kind of thought it did already, because when you bring up selfie mode here, it puts a square around your face and it acts like it's focusing it, but it could just be doing face tracking, because when you do this, it does show a square on your face. So again, we don't really know what this was for then, I guess, but autofocus is now being promoted as an option for the front camera, which is great. It's also a little bit faster, which is giving us better for bokeh for selfies with the autofocus option. So that's really cool. Another big upgrade that came to the iPhone is the satellite connectivity for emergency services. Now the iPhone can tune in to satellite frequencies and send a very small frequency message through satellite to emergency services if you get in that kind of situation where you'll need it. The camera bump on the back actually is a little bit bigger. I failed to mention earlier. Not much, but it is slightly bigger than on the iPhone 13 line. So, cases will not work. Of course, another big change is the battery's gotten better, of course. It's an even better, I think they're quoting another 6 hours on the battery. And with that comes more intensive things. So it's a faster chip, the A16 in the Pro devices. The non-Pro phones do not have it. They have the A15 from the 13 line, which is honestly more than fast enough, but this is really differentiating between the Pros and the non-Pro devices now. Also, with the camera, on the ultra-wide lens, there is a hyper smooth stabilization-esque option where it will just crop in so you can run and jitter around, and it should look much, much better. This is on top of the already really good sensor shift capabilities that come with the iPhone. I mean, this looks smooth, like, for the most part. It's not perfect, obviously, but this really is very impressive what Apple already can do. It wasn't even playing, but you get the point. I'll throw the clip in now for you can see, so you can see it. That's really the biggest camera upgrades. Of course, there's other things like the notch obviously is gone, dynamic island like I mentioned, and the screen can now go up to 2,000 nits. This goes up to 1200 in HDR in bright outdoors, but now it peaks at 2,000. 2,000 is insane that a screen can get this bright. But yeah, so screen's brighter, HDR content of course, and that brightness actually goes into another product they released, that being the Apple Watch Ultra. Now the Apple Watch Ultra is quite an interesting device actually. It's an Apple Watch obviously, but this device is capable of so much more than your average Apple Watch. First of all, the screen goes up to 2,000 nits like I mentioned on the iPhone. These only went up to 1,000 in outdoor settings. It has better battery. It can go up to 30 hours on battery, and then it can go up to 60 with an extreme power saver that's coming later this fall. Low power mode is actually finally coming to the watch. So let me see if I can get it. Probably not. I think that's probably, but it's cool to see that they're adding that feature. Of course, it also has the satellite connectivity for emergency services, and the Ultra, all of the models for the Ultra actually have cellular because it's geared more toward an adventure outdoor watch. This watch starts at $799 and has a more ruggedized design compared to this Apple Watch. Whereas this Apple Watch here has the glass and the smooth sides. The new Apple Watch has a much squared off design, similar actually to the iPhone 13 line. So it'll have that squared off design and a new raised lip around the screen so it's not easily as broken. Of course, that's going to be a sapphire screen on top of the stainless steel, not stainless steel, titanium watch casing. And of course, it comes with new sensors such as a gyroscope, which also is on the new iPhone, that a gyroscope and accelerometers that can detect up to 256 Gs, crash detection, and it also has new temperature gauges for ovulation for women. That is really cool how they're adding a lot of these features in that have been lacking on Apple Watches and just really help with safety and health of humanity. So that's the Apple Watch Ultra. It also has a night mode that you can spin the dial on, and it turns the screen to a night mode, but that eliminates much more of the blue light. That way it's easy on the eyes at night. Of course, this watch wouldn't be an Ultra watch if they didn't add an entire dive computer to it. This watch is sealed in a different way than the previous watches, that allowing it to be a certified diving watch now. It has all the calculations and all the instruments built into the watch so that it can be a certified diving watch, like I mentioned. This watch also, because it's geared more towards the outdoors, has a 90 decibel speaker, so if you get lost or you're in an accident, you can use it to alert others if anyone is nearby. It also has, the Apple Watch Ultra also has a new customizable button that you can hit to start a certain workout or other things along that spectrum as well. If you want to see what this watch looks like, here is a lovely image for your viewing pleasure. This is the Apple Watch Ultra. It's much more rugged, much more sturdy looking, and yeah, starts at $799, one price, multiple designs. They all come with cellular and the like. So as you can see here, we have this raised edge here to protect the crown and the button, also making it easier to work with gloves. With this flat edge panel on the top that's completely flat, unlike the old Apple Watches with the curved display. You can kind of see here on this edge how flat it is. If we compare this to the other watches where the screen melts over the edges, this one will allow it to be a lot tougher, and this edge that goes right here actually does go up a little bit to prevent it from hitting rocks or something if it comes down on a flat surface. So that's the Apple Watch, that's the new iPhone. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, a sub to the channel would be amazing. Also, while you're down there, go and ring that bell. It doesn't hurt anything, and it allows you to be notified whenever I post a new video. Links down below are also for my social media. You can follow me there: Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, 500px, Vero, everything's down there, as well as a link to my website where you can find my merch and find prints that you can get in your own home, because your house needs decorations and I have the stuff to decorate it. Also, with that, I have a couple other projects coming up that I'm working on actually right now, and so yeah, check out and keep up to date, because you never know when I'll release a new video or work on a new project. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take it easy, fam. Peace.